Assalamu alaikum and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new career mode as we look to get cracking. Now, we did a previous career mode which was 5 laps. We managed to win the championship in Mexico, and I've decided to end the series there. And now we're going to go straight in a Williams from the back of the grid. So let's select that Williams Racing. We have to accept the contract. Nothing else we can do about that. And of course, we want as our teammate to be George Russell, our friend from school. We can call this the Wisbech Grammar School team. Now, qualifying, we're doing everything in this. It's full qualifying. Formation lap will be on, and we are going to be doing 50% race distances. We're going 103 on the difficulty, which means that at the start of the championship, it's just going to be us battling with our teammate Russell. And when we get later into the championship at some of our more preferable tracks like Austria, like Spa, that's when I'm hoping maybe to be able to eke out those couple of points. I tried 101 difficulty race recently, and well, we managed to get P10 in 50% in a 50% race. So I think with this, it should be an interesting battle. And I think maybe we'll be looking at around about that kind of P17 mark. Now, let's just go Elite. Everything is Offerinos. And on this, vehicle damage is reduced. Park permit rules on. We'll put safety car on. I think it can spice up the championship. Generally, when I race, I don't like safety car because it kind of ruins stuff. But it makes things more interesting. We're going to have extended interviews so that we can actually go through those questions as well. So, it is time to start our season. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, we're lining up on the grid, getting ready to go for the first race of the career mode. So let's just take a quick look at the setup that I'm using. 5.7 wings, 5.5 in time trial, but just upping that rear wing just a little bit so, you know, the rear end is a little bit more stable. 50, 65, minus 2.5, minus 1, 0.05, 0.2, just all the way to the right, all the way to the left. I mean, you can bring these in a little bit for the race because, you know, this is for maximum pace and, you know, less tire wear. Or as it is, it's for more tire wear. Suspension 22511 24. Essentially, I've just taken this off Infamous's setup online pretty much. 8556. I generally run almost 90 in time trial, but don't want to get those lockups, so 85. And we'll be switching between 56 and 58 on the front bias through the race. And then tires is 23.8, 22.3. Knock them both up one click to the right if you guys are doing time trial. For our strategy, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to be going hards into soft tires, and we're going to be removing this final stint. It does just about work. We pit lap at 20, I think. Otherwise, our softs are completely dead. We tend to have really good tire wear. We'll select that, and we're going to be knocking up our fuel usage to, we want to be at about 32, so we can really use that rich fuel mix towards the latter stages of the race. So we're going to have about 32.2, and we'll keep an eye on how that works out for us over the course of the race. But on that note, here is the qualifying lap that got us in the current grid slot that we find ourselves in. Take a look. So, setting ourselves up then for our hot lap. This is in a Q1. We currently find ourselves in P20. But at the end of this lap, we have already found 1.5 seconds. But we know there is still more time on these soft tires. Going into turn 1, brake as late as you dare. Down to 4th gear. Carry as much speed, using up all of the curb on the exit of 1. Open up the DRS and now get ready to spot your braking point. Heading down into 3. Brake at that second red marker board. Down into 2nd gear. Short shift up into 3rd. Into 4th. A quick downshift to 3rd. No, we decide against it. We hold it in 4th to minimize wheel spin. Flat out through the right hander of turn 5. And I'll spot your braking down into 6th. Always good to brake early here at Australia. We end up cutting the corner just a little bit. But it's alright because we can get back on the power nice and early. Now, this is where you can really mess things up. You brake just as the Armco on the left tucks in down to third gear. We have a bit of a moment with the back end on the exit of turn 10, but it's okay. Now, 11 and 12, you've got to hold your balls here, carry as much speed as you can. We cut a bit off the corner, 6th gear, back on the power, and we are half a second up on our personal best. We're currently in 18th, this can really help us cement our position. Second red marker board, break down into 4th gear, take as much curb as you can, and now drop it back down into 4th for turn 14. 15 is all about slowing it right down and being easy on the power. Down into 1st, short shift up into 2nd, up into a 3rd, 4th gear. We are in a Williams, not a lot of downforce, so we do run wide on the exit. We lose a little bit of time, but it's okay, and we complete the lap with a 23.8. And now heading into the race for the first race of our career mode in the Williams. We were only able to qualify in 19th, but it's not a good start. We lose so much time instantly. But that's fine, as long as we can keep our nose clean through turn 1. We break late and we're already alongside Russell. There's a little bit of contact, but we decide to play it safe. Don't want to have any shenanigans. We don't want to lose any parts of our front wing. We are on the hard tires. Everyone else is on the softs. Now we can break nice and late down into turn 3. We look for the inside of Kvyat. He turns across us. And oh no, he spins right in our face. We have a quick check. Have we got any damage to our front wing? No, we have not, but we are up into 18th. Unfortunately, though, it's not really worth it because we've lost loads of times to Stroll and the pack up ahead. But George is having a little look around the outside down into 6th. We leave him space, but he's not able to make the move work. Now we need to just try to focus on pushing and plowing on up ahead with Mr. Russell right on our tails. We get a decent exit coming through turn 10. But George is still right on us. We're going to look to try to defend the inside. And we see that red arrow coming up. That'll compromise us slightly heading down into 11 and 12. But we're able to get a decent run nonetheless. But George is still right there, really closing in onto us. And he's going to have a look down the inside into turn 13. We leave him space. There's a little bit of contact between us. And now we head down into turn 14, still side by side. But George just can't hold it on the inside of us there. And we will be able to hold on to P18 for now. But of course, it's not done just yet. George will be looking to get the better run coming through the final corner. And it's all going to come down into turn 1. We knock it up into overtake. Rich mode, but that's not enough to stop George Russell. He's going to have a look towards the inside. We break nice and early to try to carry the speed around the outside. And we're able to do so successfully. But George Russell is still on our tails. We look to go defensive down into 3. George Russell has to look for the outside. He locks up his front right. We leave him room on the outside. But thankfully, we're finally able to hold him off. On lap 2, as we make our way through turn 5, we have a moment. Georgia looks to the inside. We realize a little bit too late and try to leave him space. We have a lockup. We run wide, and George Russell says, "Thank you very much." Moves up into 18th place. Now we've got to just try to stick with George Russell and stop Mr. Kvyat from closing in onto us. And as we skip to our lap 4, as we make our way down into 9 and 10, we have a bit of a lockup. And as we get on the power, we have a little bit of a brown underwear moment as the back end just really steps out. And that's not what we want to see happening. And now, lap 6, there was a virtual safety car. I think Albon retired, so we're up into P18. But we lose a little bit of time at the end of the VSC. And this does mean that Kvyat is right on our tail now as we come to start lap 7 of 29. Kvyat moves it to the inside, and there's nothing that we can do to defend. We'll look to try to get a better run on the exit, but no, we just can't even get that. And that's Kvyat up a position. Now, at the end of our lap 7, we're kind of in touching distance of Kvyat, but as we get the power on, we massively lose the back end. Of full counter steer, completely off the throttle. Somehow we're able to stay out of the wall, and we lost about 2 seconds, 2.1 seconds down on our previous best. Now, lap of 14, a lot of the drives up ahead are pitted. We're up to P9, and Perez is on the medium tyres. He gets a much better run out of the final corner, and he will pick up the position, just absolutely flies through. But we can look to try to get the better run through 1 and 2, but we just cannot match the grip of those medium tyres. We knock it up into overtake. We need to try to defend from Mr. Hulkenberg, who is on our tail. We break nice and late. Hulkenberg looks to the inside. We leave him room. And now side by side into the left-hander. Hulkenberg just cannot hold it. And we'll be able to retain P10 for now. Now, as we make our way to the start of lap 16, Hulkenberg is still on us. Perez has completely checked out, 2.7 seconds up. Hulkenberg looks to the inside. We let Mr. Hulk through. We look for the cutback, but we end up almost running right into the back of Hulkenberg. We knock it up into overtaking. Now we could have a little look around the outside down into turn 3, but I decide against it and think, let's just play it safe. But Hulkenberg just does not carry any speed through the corner, and that completely compromises us. But we know Hulkenberg, he's struggling a little bit, so maybe we could look for a way through a little bit later on in the lap. And now we're making our way down into turns 8 and 9. We're very close to Hulkenberg, but we run a bit wide, and we have a massive moment with the back end, and that's really going to allow Magnussen to come up alongside us. In fact, he makes the move up into P11, so we're now down into P12. And fast forwarding to the start of lap 18, we have Mr. Gasly right on our tail. We're not going to defend, we're going to let him go to the inside into turn 1. We'll let him through, look for the slingshot out of 1, but we just can't get the drive on these old hard tires compared to Gasly's fresh mediums. Gasly has DRS, but that's not going to stop us. We're going to have a look down the inside into 3. We have a look, we make contact with the rear end of Gasly. We made that contact with Kvyat in lap 1, and we did the same thing with Gasly. That's entirely on us. Thankfully, nothing really happens to Gasly. Now, at the end of lap 18, I'm cycling through everything, and we're still closer to Gasly as we take turn 14. Alright, and now, sorry, we take turn 13 into 14, but now I realize that we don't actually have any fresh soft tires available. I use them all in qualifying, and that's really going to cost us in the strategy. We dive into the pits, but we have to get a set of medium tires ready. You brake at the lamppost on the right, and it just about gets you slowed down for the pit limit here at Australia. But it was really gutting when I realized I didn't have any soft tires for the final stint. Otherwise, I would have pitted maybe lap 16 for those medium tires, maybe even lap 15. So we've got a lot of fresh tyre wear, and you can see George Russell closing in onto us. It's going to be quite close coming out of the pits, but we're just going to be able to come out ahead. In fact, George might look for the outside into turn 1, but he's not going to be able to make it work. We have a DRS as well, so we'll whack that on, and we should be able to hold on to P18. Now, lap 20, we're pushing, we're green in all sectors. We cut a little bit through turn 12, and once again, we have a bit of a moment with that back end on the exit of turn 12, which has been happening for quite a while now. Cutting forward to lap 29, nothing had happened. We had just tried to close in to Giovinazzi and Kvyat, but we just didn't have the pace relative to them. We're not closing in by enough relative to those guys on the medium tires. But it is what it is. It hasn't been a bad showing. We've absolutely smashed our teammate George Russell, and we've picked up a P17. I think Ricardo had an issue, so we'll take it. But there you go. Well, so we pick up 17th then in our first race in the career mode, but it's just such a shame that right at the end we get that issue. You know, we don't have those soft tires available to us. We have to do it on the mediums, and it just costs us so much. If we had the soft tires, we could have done it. Maybe if we didn't get involved in some of the scraps with drivers at the end of our stint on hards, we could have been a little bit closer. But we definitely have pace to challenge the Alfa Romeos. You know, Kimi Raikkonen was there for us to battle. You know, only 7 seconds off. That is something that we can definitely close in within the next couple of races in the championship. So overall, oh, pardon me. Overall, I am fairly pleased with that. Sorry about the voice crack, but yeah, let's head into our post-race interview. I think this is where that interview comes up. Hey, there we go. We beat our man George. Our reputation increases as well. That's good to see.
That's a great result. You did really well.
Now the question is,
we can have any complaints with our performance.
Yeah, good work. I don't want to do anything in terms of this. What I do want to do is I want to do this. Now we've got a lot of points available to us, 2,000 points, which comes from doing all of the stuff in practice, and yeah, all of that kind of stuff. So I mean, we're really lacking in chassis. What about aero? Oh my god, aero we're awful. What about powertrain? Powertrain we're pretty good. So we're going to leave powertrain as it is, but chassis is bad. Our aero is absolutely god awful, and I really want to get some, you know, some extra grip on the car, because that front end, like turn, what is it, turn 5 in Australia, I can't even take it flat, and it's getting a little bit iffy. So we're going to be doing a lot of work to our aeros. So for that, what I want to do is I want to be upgrading the efficiency, and I want to upgrade the quality control. Actually, chances of failing by 7.5%. I don't really think it matters at the moment because it's quite cheap upgrades that we've got going on. So, okay, we've reached the capacity. So, if that's the case, we'll just upgrade this as well. So, full improvements on our aero, and hopefully for the next race, that's really going to help us out. So, let's just push through to next weekend, see if anything comes up, and then we will sign out of this episode. We're going to be going into Bahrain for round 2. I'll try to get the next episode out within, hopefully by next week. So that'd be good if I can do 2 of these career mode videos every week. Always let me know in the comments, you know, if there's anything you'd like to see, ways to improve things, etc., etc. Yeah, thank you for that. Don't really want that. Oh god. That's not good. That is really bad. Now we don't have insufficient resource points. Okay. I mean, it'll only cost us 225 to do it again, which is good. These things don't cost too much as we go down. Okay, but yeah, there we go. Our upgrade failed, but at least we've improved our efficiency and all of that stuff, which means that from now on, everything is going to be cheaper to build. Yeah, 10% fewer resource points are needed. That's good. So we can, you know, keep on working up, try to make things more and more efficient, and that will just help us as we work through this so much. We'll try to get quality control to both of those done for next race, and then we can just absolutely hammer in points into our aero side of things. So that'll be awesome. But yeah, that is all that we have time for this episode. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like and do subscribe. And as always, let me know if there's anything you would like to see in the comments below. Stay milky, and until next time, guys, assalamu alaikum.